over 10 years of experience helping guide policyholders through the complicated financial recovery process involved in presenting an insurance claim. No claim is large or too small for the team at Tropical Trade Winds. Tropical Trade Winds was a veteran and family-owned business with the discipline and experience to achieve success. They put their experience to work for you to get the funds you are counting on paid for and entitled to so you can rebuild after property loss. Tropical Trade Winds team have been proud members of the Florida Association of Public Insurance Adjusters for over a decade. They service water damage, mold, and hurricane insurance claims. To get help with your claim, call 954-253-8210. That's 954-253-8210, and tell them Steve-O told you to call.
You are listening to the Ask the Experts show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
If you're just tuning in, the name of the show is Ask the Experts. We have been going for 6 years now. Same station, 1470 AM. We're now also on 96.9 FM, 95.3 FM. You can also get us on iHeart and TuneIn. And I got to tell you, it's almost June, so that means hurricane season. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you need for hurricane season. You've been down here long enough, you know that. But what we're going to do tonight is, our expert tonight is Robert Rosado. He owns a company called Tropical Trade Winds. They are public insurance adjusters. And if you do not know what a public insurance adjuster is, or if you've had a bad experience, you need to listen to the show tonight, because I got to tell you, they just told us we're going to have a very, very active hurricane season. Welcome, Robert.
Well, good to be back, Steve-O. How's everything with you?
Good. Did you hear that we're going to have a very active hurricane season?
That's what I have been told, and I expect it to be this year.
Well, we almost had our first one. What was it? Anna? That was out there in the, I guess it was on the East Coast, and there was another one in the Gulf. But, I don't think people really realize that they have other options besides accepting what insurance companies offer them. So first of all, tell us about your business.
Tropical Trade Winds is a public adjusting firm that helps homeowners with their insurance claim under a covered loss with the insurance policy. And we help them by negotiating with the insurance carrier based on an estimate that we create on their behalf, according to the damages that we see. And we meet with all of the adjusters that come out to the property, including any experts that the insurance carrier may want to send out.
So the insurance company, what they want to do is pay you the least amount possible.
That's correct. The insurance companies are a for-profit business, and of course they have to satisfy all of their stockholders, so they try to pay as least as possible to obtain that objective.
How long have you been in business for?
For 12 years now.
And you have seen probably just about everything.
Yes, I've seen just about every single claim you can think of out there, including some that are not even listed in the insurance policy.
Tell everybody the type of claims that you work with.
There are about 21 different type of claims that are listed in the checklist of coverages, and I've worked with almost every single one of them, from a fire to theft to impact from hail, tree falling on a home, tornadoes, hurricanes, etc.
Robert, are there so many people that don't know what's in their homeowner's policy?
A homeowner's policy is very intricate, and you have to really know how to read it and understand it. The policy has about 40 to 60 pages long, And they deliberately write it in such a way where it's a little difficult to understand. It takes years and years to understand what the policy says so that we can interpret it properly and get coverage paid for homeowners who have damage to their homes.
So give people a couple examples of homeowners you've worked with what the insurance company wanted to give them and then what you actually ended up getting them.
Wow, there are so many stories that I can tell on that. One that comes to mind where the homeowner received about maybe $6,000 and someone in their family referred me to them. I came in on the claim. I looked at all the damage and I said to myself, I said, they were definitely not paid properly on this file. So let me offer my services and tell them that I can help them. To make a long story short, after about 6 to 8 weeks of handling the claim, I was able to put a check in their hands for about $32,000.
Wow. What a difference.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. Because again, and I guess you probably see people who try to work the claim out themselves, and then they finally decide they weren't happy with it, then they call you.
They do, and sometimes when they do call me, I'm not able to help them because what they were paid for was not something that I could jump on and handle it from there because it would be hurting them as opposed to helping them. And the damages that I've discovered once that occurs is not sufficient for me to get involved. So I just tell the homeowner, give them some information, give them some tips, and let them go back to the insurance carrier to see if they can negotiate a little better price.
Okay, so what you're telling me is just because someone thinks they have a claim and they come see you, they might not even have a claim, and you're going to tell them that.
Oh, absolutely. If I go to a home, one of the first things I do is I sit down with the policyholder, with the homeowner, and review their policy with them so that they understand more about their insurance policy and what their coverages are. Last week, I had an incident where I went to see a client. It was a townhome, very nice place, and they had water damage from a refrigerator supply line that went from the wall connection up through the wall, over the ceiling, and behind the refrigerator. Well, that line failed. And the homeowner did not have the insurance policy available for me to look at. And I agreed to take the claim on, and she signed the documents to proceed with the claim. Well, when I received the actual policy from the insurance carrier, it turns out that she did not have coverage for that damage. Her damage was limited to $10,000. A lot of insurance carriers are now putting that into their policies, and all they're going to pay you for any water damage that's sudden and accidental, not created by a weather event, is limited to $10,000, and that includes the dry out and the build back or the repairs for the damages.
How much is that going to cover?
Very little. In this instance, the restoration company's invoice was about $6,500, and all the homeowner was going to get out of that was about $3,500. That was it to do the
Wow.
repairs. So it's very important for a homeowner to take some time. Give me a call at 954-253-8210. Repeat, 954-253-8210, and I'll be more than happy to sit with them or sit with you and go over your policy to give you a much better understanding of what you have.
Does does a person make the repairs first before they call in the claim?
No, I would highly recommend that you do not make any repairs, because if you do, you are prejudicing the insurance carrier from them investigating the claim, and that will definitely be a denial.
Now, your license.
Yes.
Are there companies out there that aren't licensed?
There are people known as loss consultants. These loss consultants are not allowed to adjust, negotiate, or handle an insurance claim.
So how would someone know that?
They would have to ask that person who's visiting them or trying to get their business to give them their license, show them the license, and give them their license number. And I would recommend that that homeowner goes to the Department of Financial Services website and there is a search bar for licensees, and you could search for them under their name.
Okay. Now, if there are damages, let's just say there's a bad leak, who should they call first?
It's always going to be my opinion to call a public adjuster first.
Okay.
Because many times, and I have encountered this, where the damages are not sufficient enough for it to even be reported because it doesn't exceed the deductible. The majority of the policies out there will have a deductible of approximately $2,500. And small claims, for example, if you have damage to a closet in a master bedroom, and that's the only area where I find damage, there's no sense in me getting involved in that claim.
So, does it matter what kind of claim it is that they should call you first?
Absolutely, because a homeowner is not an expert when it comes to insurance claims.
Oh, that's for sure. Does a person have options if they're not happy? Let's say they hire a public insurance adjuster and they're not happy with them. Can they get a second opinion?
When a homeowner hires a public adjuster, they're tied into that public adjuster
Because they sign a contract.
because there's a contract
Okay.
involved. All the contracts as of today have a 3-day statute to rescind the contract. Just this past month, the new law coming into place is going to have a 10-day rescission period. So now the homeowner has 10 days to cancel that contract.
Okay, now what if your claim, they make you an offer for your claim and you took the offer? Can you do anything with that? To see if it was, I mean, because they're thinking to themselves, I should have gotten a lot more, I didn't. Can they come to you after they've already signed off on a claim?
Okay, that's a very tricky question because when you say sign off, the insurance carrier may offer the homeowner what is known as a release. Once you execute that release, which needs to be notarized, that finalizes the claim. And what you're saying is,
You can't come
okay,
back.
Mr. Insurance Carrier, yeah, I'm going to accept this money and I'm not going to come back to reopen the claim.
Wow. Now, do you ever have to get an attorney involved?
On a rare occasion, an attorney has to get involved because I come to an impasse with the insurance carrier where they don't want to pay more than what they've offered. I've got one right now where the insurance carrier agreed to pay only $33,000. That was it. And I've gone back to them. I've stated my case. I pleaded my case. They say, no, this is what we feel the damages are. And I said, well, now you leave me no choice but to offer the homeowner the option of hiring an attorney. My estimate on that claim is $122,000. So does it pay for the homeowner to go to an attorney at this point? Absolutely,
Right.
100%.
Okay. Give everybody again your phone number and your website.
My website is tropicaltradewindsllc.com, and you can reach me at 954-253-8210.
We're here with Robert Rosado. He owns Tropical Trade Winds. He's a public insurance adjuster. And if you have never used a public insurance adjuster, and if you ever have a claim, I'm telling you, this is who you want to hire. We're going to be right back, and we have so many questions for Robert here. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Steve O. I endorse Tropical Trade Winds. They are licensed and bonded insurance professionals with over 10 years of experience helping guide policyholders through the complicated financial recovery process involved in presenting an insurance claim. No claim is large or too small for the team at Tropical Trade Winds. Tropical Trade Winds was a veteran and family-owned business with the discipline and experience to achieve success. They put their experience to work for you to get the funds you are counting on paid for and entitled to so you can rebuild after property loss. Tropical Trade Winds team have been proud members of the Florida Association of Public Insurance Adjusters for over a decade. They service water damage, mold, and hurricane insurance claims. To get help with your claim, call 954-253-8210. That's 954-253-8210, and tell them Steve-O told you to call. And we are back. The name of the show is called Ask the Experts. We're with you every Thursday night from 6 to 7 drive time. And we have some of the best experts in South Florida, whether it's attorneys, doctors, home improvement, financial. Tonight we're talking about public adjusters. And I'm going to tell you something. I never knew there were so many people who did not know what a public adjuster was and what
correct.
they did, or that there was even anyone out there. So a lot of them would start off handling their own claim thinking that's what they had to do. So tell people what you do. Explain what you do.
Okay, so as a public adjuster, I help the homeowner file an insurance claim. I quantify the claim, and I submit that information to the insurance carrier. I meet with their adjusters. I also speak with the inside desk examiner to negotiate the claim on behalf of the homeowner.
So I'm going to give you kudos, your profession, because a friend of mine had some really nice tile done, and the insurance company only wanted to pay for the tile that was ruined, but the problem was that tile didn't exist anymore. So it was not going to match.
That's correct.
And that's what they wanted them to settle for. So explain, see what you do, because you know what can be done, whether it's leaks or fire damage or whatever. You know what actually needs to be done.
That's correct.
And so do they too, the insurance company.
They know the statutes better than anybody else. But the insurance is a policy that's an indemnification policy. And what that means is that your damages are covered 100%, and they're supposed to bring you back to the way it was before the damage occurred. That's what they're responsible to do, and that's what the law requires them to do. So bring you back to the way you were before the damage occurred.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Now, when someone has file a claim, what does that do to their premium?
Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it does not. But as of late, even myself, without putting in an insurance claim, my premium increased by $2,000. And I have spoken to many homeowners that have had the same situation where the premiums have gone up.
Are there some things that homeowners should know that they should make sure that's in their homeowner's policy? Make sure that it's in there, they're not missing out on something?
Yeah, what they want to know for sure is you want to make sure that your policy has the proper deductibles. I've seen some policies that have deductibles for coverage, for hurricane coverage, up to 5%. That's a lot of money before the insurance carrier pays the very first dollar. You want to make sure that you have your hurricane deductible no more than 2% of coverage A. Also, on other perils, which is everything other than hurricanes, you want that to be no more than $2,500. Some insurance carriers will offer $500 or $1,000 deductibles. Will your premium increase as a result of it? Yes, it will, because the deductibles are related to the premium in the policy.
Are they negotiable?
Yes, they're negotiable, because you can ask your agent, say, Mr. Agent, listen, I want to keep my deductible as low as possible. So do you have a $500 deductible for this particular insurance carrier? The agent should be able to answer that question for you.
Same thing with hurricane with the 5%. Is that negotiable?
You can get 2%, and if you wish, you can buy it down lower, but it's going to cost you in the premium.
Can somebody fire their insurance carrier at any time?
You can fire your insurance carrier anytime you want.
You don't have to wait
You do not have to
till the
wait.
policy's up.
Absolutely. If you want to get another insurance carrier, all you need to do is speak with your agent, tell your agent that you want to change your insurance carrier and find another carrier that may be less or has more coverage, and then you can purchase that policy from them and then cancel the old one. If you've already made a full payment on that prior policy, then you'll be reimbursed for the unused portion of the premium.
You know, you said the first thing that people should do if they have damage is they should call you.
Absolutely.
Now, if I call you, I don't know a plumber, I don't know a roofer, I don't know, I guess a company that gets rid of smoke damage. Are you able to give names of people, or are you not allowed to do that?
I'm allowed to give out names. I like to defer from doing that because I don't know the kind of work they do. I always tell the client, do your research, hire who you think might be the best person for the job, and use them if you're comfortable.
Okay, so you don't give them 2 or 3 people to choose from if it comes to a plumber or a roofer or a water damage company.
No, I'm only going to refer somebody that I personally know, that I've done business with in the past, that I can rely that they're going to do a good job. I'm not going to give you somebody that I don't know, that I don't know what they're going to do for you. I don't know if they're going to help you or if they're going to hurt you. I'm only going to refer someone that I know personally that's going to help you with your situation.
Now, are all claims covered?
All claims are covered unless they are excluded. So that's why you have a policy that's somewhere between 40 to 60 pages, and in there is where you're going to have your exclusions. And this is why it's important to know what you're looking for, where to find it, and how to translate it.
Didn't you tell me that bats aren't covered? And I said to you, I didn't know we had bats. And you said, yes, bats get up into the attic.
That is correct. In the state of Florida, we do have bats, if anybody didn't know. And some policies will cover bats as long as it's not named in the policy. So if the policy says bats are not covered, guess what? You're not covered for bats. But if it does not say that bats are covered, and is the word bats is not found anywhere in the policy, then it's covered.
Okay. Is that the same thing with rats too? Because they eat away at the wood.
No, rats would be excluded in the policy. So
Oh.
if you have damage from rats, the insurance carrier is not going to pay you for vermin
Okay.
Iguanas.
Or iguanas.
or
yeah.
iguanas.
Are there limits on policies?
Yes, there are. And the limits are most of the time dictated by the carrier. And your limits could be 100, 200, 300, 400, depending on the size of the home. And that's what your limit would be if you have damage to the property that's catastrophic and there's a total loss. That's the most you would be able to collect from the policy is your policy limit. That is also known as coverage A in the policy.
God, it seems like the insurance companies don't want to take any of the liability at all.
No.
They just want to take that money in, the premiums in every month, and just hope they don't ever have to pay you. But if they do, give you the least amount possible.
That is correct. That's why I call it the shrinking policy.
Well, now you asked me, you said to talk about tonight the difference between HO6 and HO3.
Right. It's very important for a homeowner to understand what type of policy you have. An HO6 policy is primarily for condo units, high-rise or low-rise, and then also in some townhome situations, you can have an association that you will need an HO6 policy. What's the difference between an HO6 and an HO3? An HO3 policy is primarily for single-family residences. Now, in an HO6 policy, everything is covered within the unit up to the paint on the wall. It does not cover the sheetrock. The sheetrock is now covered by the master policy of the association, whereas in an HO3 policy, all of the sheetrock in the home is covered.
Wow, I don't see how you keep up with all this. I'm going to ask you a question. It's probably the toughest question of the night. No, it's going to be easy for you. Tell the listeners out there why, if they have a claim, they should hire you.
You want to hire me because I'm going to be the very first one to tell you if you have damage and if it's worth filing the claim or not. And I'll be able to justify what I see and create an estimate that's going to justify the damages.
So when you tell someone this is what I think I can get, you're not just telling them that to woo them. You're telling that because that's from your years of experience, that's what you feel like you can get them.
Well, an estimate is created based on measurements and what the cost would be to repair the area that is affected in a room. We create what is known as a line item estimate. And in my estimate, I create a line item for every single room. I just don't do the whole house like a contractor does. He's going to give you one invoice. This is what it's going to cost you to do the whole thing. No. In our case, we have to take photos of every room that has damage, and then we create an estimate in that room. And at the end of the estimate, it adds up all the damages and creates the final number that we're going to present to the insurance carrier. Now, what's good about hiring a public adjuster first is it takes the emotion out of the claim. I don't get emotional about your claim. Many homeowners, when they have damage, become emotional with the claim. And they can do things and say things that are going to hurt them as opposed to helping them. And this is why you need to hire me first.
Wow, you're hired. You know, the other thing I want to ask you is the price. Everything is going up. The price of wood's going up.
That's correct.
So how do you figure now with, it seems like on a day-to-day basis, everything is going up?
That's correct. And now with these new pricing that's going up, it's going to be hard to judge what the claim is actually going to cost. So I even myself may have to ask for outside help to get a proper estimate because I'm not the contractor buying materials every day.
Exactly.
Okay? And only a contractor will be able to give me what it's going to actually cost them to do the job. So my estimate may not be accurate. All I can do is supply an estimate that I believe may be correct.
The name of the company is Tropical Trade Winds. Robert, give everybody your phone number.
My direct phone number is 954-253-8210. Repeat, 954-253-8210. And you can visit me at my website at tropicaltradewindsllc.com, and I encourage everybody to go there and view my website.
Robert, thank you so much. Robert's going to be back with us again next month.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll be back next
Looking
month.
forward to it.
Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy Memorial Day. Is that what it is? Memorial Day is Monday? Enjoy it. Some of us have to work. Hey, and we'll see you again next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve-O.